What would happen if you took 1,000 bouncy blocks and used ropes to connect them together? Well, I think you might just make a working bounce house, so let's try to build one. And of course, our block of choice is going to be bouncy block. I mean, it is literally the bounciest thing in the entire game. Like, look at this thing go. Now, sadly, I couldn't just build an entire bounce house out of this material because, believe it or not, when you actually skill this thing up, it kind of stops working very well. As you can see, right now, it's just a big block. A bounce house doesn't just move like one giant block. But it's for that reason that I think connecting everything together with ropes is a great idea. Now, I'm going to turn off collision on the ropes. I'm going to put them inside of the blocks. Let's see, is this going to work any better? Ooh, okay, and I move one of these blocks. Oh wait, they're all connected together. I gotta turn off match rotation. All right, drop them one more time. So now they should be, yeah, a lot more chaotic. Okay, that is absolutely perfect. Now that right there was all right, but I'm thinking of something a little bit bigger. All right, so first off, I think we're gonna have to get all of our ropes in place. So one goes that way, one goes that way, and one goes that way. Turn off collision on all of these, and then we gotta move them into the right spot. So that's gonna be, oh, not over there, inside of the block. All right, there you go. All right, and now I think we actually delete these other blocks, and I think we can just start cloning this now. So let's do like 5 in each direction. And there you go, that's 5. Now we're gonna go up. All right, so that's 5 up. Oh my goodness, dude, this thing is already gonna be massive. I'm worried I might have already gone overboard. Oh, I've reached my maximum amount of ropes? Wait, why do I not have that many ropes? Dude, I'm buying a bunch of these. There you go. 1,200 should be enough for now. All right, there you go. We're gonna do it one more time. And that right there is a 5x5 cube of bouncy blocks. And it looks like an absolute disaster. Okay, I just want to see how this is gonna go. Okay, so when I drop this, I've got a feeling it's gonna be a mess. Drop. Wait, nothing was actually connected together. Wait, maybe if I reload it, it should fix it. But that right there was definitely not how that was supposed to go. All right, let's see. Let's try this one more time. Oh. Now that right there is a lot more like a bounce house. It's incredibly laggy though. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe I shouldn't have used ropes, but bars instead, because yeah, there is absolutely zero structure to this thing. It's just a blob. I think bars would definitely be better. All right, so this right here is going to be the exact same structure, but with bars instead. Okay, so I definitely don't want this all to look this bad. So I think what I'm actually going to do, if I just add 0.1 to each and every side of this bouncy block, it's going to look a million times better because it should actually hide all of the bars. Yeah, that right there looks 1,000 times better. Okay, so you know what? Let's actually try to construct kind of like a bouncy house shape. All right, so there you go. That right there is gonna be the floor. Now I can paint this all kinds of cool colors to actually make it look good, but for now I'll just leave it pink, just like so. And I just want to see if it's possible to actually have walls. So that right there is gonna be a wall. Here will be another wall. Okay, and just because I'm curious, I really want to know if in the middle of my bounce house I can actually have kind of like an entrance that stays open without exploding. All right, I have absolutely no idea how this is gonna go, but this right here is kind of looking a little bit like a house. At least it's a cube with a hole in it. But anyway, let's see. When I drop this, okay, I'm definitely gonna have to reload it. That's the one thing that's really annoying about blocks with collision disabled, is that tends to happen pretty often. All right, here we go. Official. Boom. Angle 0. Okay, that just rebuilt itself. Wait, what if I said like 15? Just like a little bit of angle limit, like flex. So that way it's like totally bouncy. Wait, can I turn off match rotation? Okay, that... Okay, now it looks like a bit of a deflated bounce house. Okay, wait, you know what? I should get these blocks a little bit closer together. Let's set this to 5 instead. So that way it's a little bit more. This is literally a bounce house. All right, I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop it. Is it gonna bounce? Now, usually you don't drop a real bounce house. It might pop, but I just want to see what it's gonna do. Okay, almost done moving. Come on. And drop. It doesn't bounce that much. Maybe that's because all of these blocks are just a little bit too far away from each other. Maybe like 2. Ooh! Okay, you know what? I actually have an idea for how I can make this thing 1,000 times bouncier, but I am so happy with this result. Like, look at this wall. This literally looks like a wall made of air. This is so cool. And you know what actually the coolest part is? If I set the angle limit of this to like 180, it just turns into a blob, right? And then if I actually change it to 0, it's gonna reconstruct itself. How cool is that? We can literally inflate our bounce house like a real bounce house. Okay, we're definitely gonna have to make this thing like 1,000 times bouncier though. So I'm thinking the first thing I can do to make sure that our bounce house is gonna be way bouncier is making sure that it actually doesn't touch the ground. I think the way I'm going to do this is with a bar again, because they just have way more control, just like so. And I'm going to put one of these on every side. Okay, there you go. So yeah, this right here should actually make sure that our bounce house is never going to hit the ground and just remove a bunch of bounce. Okay, let's see. I dropped this and it was not connected. Why does it always do that? Yes. All right, one more time. Okay, this time it also did. Did it work? Well, how did only one of them stay connected? All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's already, it's doing a lot of that stuff. That is, whoa! Okay, angle limit 0. Let's make it a little bit less chaotic for a second. Okay, that's good. Okay, I just want to see if I can get inside. So I think if I actually change the length to something a little bit shorter, it's already going to start freaking out again. Ooh. Yeah, the corner ones don't like that. Oh my goodness, dude. This thing is freaking out so bad. Dude, why is it leaving? Where is it trying to go? Hello? Let's send that back to what it was. Bounce house? Hello? You want to please come back to me? Oh! Okay. I think this has absolutely pooped the bed. What is it doing? I think I know what I have to do. I kind of do this in the beginning. The ones in the corner right here actually don't need to be bars. They probably need to be springs. So that way they can move around a little bit. All right, let's see if those are actually going to keep everything in place. Drop. Okay. Okay, that seems a lot better already. I'll set the angle limit to 0 because that should bring everything. Yes. Back to what it was. And then I'll set it to like a 5. I just want a little bit of slop in there. Yes. But dude, this right here is exactly what it is I was looking for. I'm just thinking to myself right now, what would happen if, I don't know, maybe I add in an earthquake to the bottom of our build. So that way it is constantly bouncing all over the place. Okay, so I have a pretty interesting idea for how I can actually add in the bounce. So what I'm going to have to do is pretty much create a gigantic wheel. Just a little something like so. And I actually need this to be in the exact middle of this thing, which is right there. All right, so here we go. And actually, I'm not going to make this a circle because I actually don't think that would be all too nice. There you go, just like so. And actually, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna add in all kinds of different bumps. So when we spin this wheel, we're actually gonna be bumping up and down all of those bouncy blocks. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do this completely random. I think something like that should be good. And actually, I think I'm gonna have to shrink all of these down by 1 block, just so that way the bumps aren't too big. Now, at some point, I could also make it so some of these blocks have different heights, so that way it's a little bit more interesting. But I just want to see if this is actually gonna work. So let's see. Let's move this back into place. Okay, so now to move everything into position, we are gonna need to use a piston right here on the bottom. And I will also do these wheel settings, so that way it's actually spinning very, very slowly, because I've got a feeling this might just be absolute chaos. All right, let's see. All right, unanchor everything. And it looks like the springs decided to not connect again. All right, there you go. That's a lot better. Okay, so now, all right, I have 1 lever for the piston, so I'm gonna move that up, so that way everything is engaged, and 1 for the wheel. So that right there is looking pretty bouncy. You know what? That right there is actually looking pretty good. I just feel like we probably just need these blocks down here to be way smaller, so that way it just doesn't look like giant blobs going underneath of us, but it's looking pretty good. I definitely like how everything is constantly moving now. I kind of feel like I want to see even more bounce though. I feel like this is not too much. I think I know exactly what it is I actually have to add. What would happen if we actually turned the things that are holding the entire thing down into bounce blocks? I think that might actually make it a lot more bouncy. All right, let's see. How much more bouncy are we gonna get? Drop everything. Ooh! Okay. First, we're gonna move the whole thing up, and now we're gonna start spinning. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can actually get inside right now. Ooh. Okay, I just want to see if we turn this thing into complete jello. There you go. Now it's just slime, and then we set it to 0, and it should just boing, spring right up. There you go. I feel like we need more earthquake. Actually, I think there is something we can do to add that. So if there is one thing that Build-A-Boat really doesn't like, it is when you start pulling on things with thrusters when they don't want to be pulled. So if I actually take one of these super thrusters and I place one on every single corner just like this, I think that should actually make this thing pretty chaotic. Okay, so move the whole thing up, and then I start spinning and thrusters. So as you can see, that doesn't do too much. You know what? I think the whole merry-go-round thruster combo is not really working. I think I might be able to come up with something a lot better. All right, so with this next setup, what I actually want to do is physically move these blocks up and down. So that way I know for sure that they are going to be bouncing a ton. All right, let's see. We're going to unanchor. Okay, this is already looking way more chaotic. Oh! That is exactly what I wanted to see. This is looking like complete chaos. Oh, when I get inside of it. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, this is beautiful. Maybe we slow it down a little bit. Yes, dude. Okay, now I think it will make it even more interesting when I actually add in a little bit of a floor. Because right now, the bottom of this is kind of just sagging down. I don't really want to see that. Actually, you know what? I think at this point, I can actually give this a paint job without being embarrassed about what it's going to be. So I want the outside to be red. Kind of want to have like a blue floor. And we'll have blue pillars in the corners. And of course, this is going to look a whole lot better when the whole thing gets unanchored. But for now, I just want to see how things are looking. And then maybe like yellowish walls. Okay, I think that right there is actually starting to look really good. And one of the easiest things I can do to make this thing work way better is just simply move the whole thing down until we are barely not touching the ground. Okay, that right there is looking perfect. Oh, I gotta bounce! I gotta bounce! Okay, maybe I did crank the wheels to their absolute limit, but I gotta bounce! Dude, this thing is incredible. Does anyone want to ride in my bounce house? I think that guy right there is building a toilet. Maybe he wants to join. Right, there you go. So those right there are kind of like the towers that pretty much every bounce house has. But especially, I think because we added a bunch of weight on the top, it should make this whole thing way more crazy. Dude, this thing is absolute chaos. Oh my god, dude, when it starts slamming me into the walls. No, honestly, the thing I'm the most excited about, absolute blob. And then we set it to 0, and boom. We've got a bounce house again, dude. That is so cool.